Hello, everybody. I'm Chase Gibson. Welcome to this second episode of College Gameday Junior. This week, Auburn, Oregon, the rematch of the national championship in 2011, playing in the house that Jerry Jones built in Arlington, Texas, AT&T Stadium. That's going to be a phenomenal game, and here to let me discuss that and all the other games that you can see this week. Will Stewart, my co-host. College Gameday. Man, this is the first real week.
Yeah.
We're going to get to see a ton of great non-conference games.
Yeah.
And some rivalries, too.
Yeah.
Looking over there, guys, and you'll see a rivalry game.
Week 1 rivalry.
Yeah, I'm loving it. Well, that's like an old-time 40s rivalry. Same thing. That was the same thing with Miami, Florida. So, let's get it to our Saturday slate. Our first game, South Carolina, North Carolina. That's what we were talking about. Ooh. Wow, that's going to be a good one.
It is. Battle of the Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina's defense, chippy,
yeah.
SEC defense.
Yeah.
Up South Carolina. Will, break that game down for me. What do you think? What do you see?
It's going to be a really good game.
Really good.
Both teams aren't really, amazing level, but they're still... South Carolina's a really good team, I think. North Carolina, not so much, but...
And then,
basketball's different. But,
I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
Obviously, South Carolina, the SEC team, they're the best conference in football. They're going to be favored in this game, and they are by 7.5. So don't do any Superdog things yet. But answer me this question: is that a little too much? Do you think?
It's hard.
Yeah, because
7.5.
7.5 is the line. Hold on, I'm going to get to North Carolina's.
I don't think.
You don't?
I don't. I could. All right.
So I think this game is going to be a matchup of the running backs, both senior running backs, A.J. Turner for South Carolina, and Michael Carter II, right there for UNC. Those guys both amassed over 1,000 yards of scrimmage, and both amassed over 800 rushing yards, and over 5 rushing touchdowns. So will the defenses of both teams be able to contain these standout running backs?
I think South Carolina's will.
Okay.
Their defense is so phenomenal. I think.
They're an underestimated defense. Yeah,
they are. So yeah, I think they'll.
Yeah. Remember, South Carolina the most votes getting in the top 25.
Yeah. Do you think they should be in it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think
they're a ridiculous team. Buttload of talent, returning a senior quarterback, a senior running back, and a senior receiver.
They did lose Debo Samuel.
Yes, but they do have Brian Edwards, who was second in the team in receptions. He's a senior.
Another senior.
So they have seniors at the triple threat position: quarterback, running back, and wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so so we discussed that game, I think, thoroughly enough to move on to the next one. Northwestern and Stanford at the Barn, which is Stanford Stadium, obviously, but at the Barn. Stanford's at home, so they're favored to win by 6.5. Obviously Northwestern, they don't have Clayton Thorson, lost him in the draft.
That's
Aiden Smith. They're starting Aiden Smith, the redshirt sophomore.
I was going to say sophomore, junior.
He threw for 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, but also 2 interceptions in the spring game for Northwestern. I think. Yeah. What do you think he has to do? Because that Stanford defense is going to stand up to him. Even a Pac-12 defense, they're second only behind, obviously, the Utah Utes. But what do you think he's got to do to stand up to Stanford?
I think it's actually his wide receivers.
Okay.
I think he's going to give them a good dot. And if they can catch the ball and they can run, I think they can. Honestly, I think they could possibly
pull this off.
Northwestern
has phenomenal receivers.
They do.
Position. You're looking at Jace James. You're up John Moten in the 4th. If they can run the ball against Stanford, they can possibly win this game without even Aiden Smith having to throw a pass. John Moten is a phenomenal running back. And I don't even know if you noticed, Northwestern's been running back Justin Jackson, John Moten got a 5-star running back recruit this year.
Oh, yeah, they did.
So they got Jace James, Berkeley Holman, Riley Lees, Trent Goins. Those four pass catchers. Goins is a tight end. The rest are receivers. The juniors are above. So experience is the key thing for the offense in Northwestern.
So he has weapons.
Yeah, he does.
Weapons.
Aiden Smith has weapons around him. Stanford, I wish I could say the same, but I can't.
Yeah.
They're a very good football team.
They're good.
Trust me on that. KJ Costello's great. Cam Scarlett, the running back, piled up 125 yards and 2 touchdowns in the spring game.
Well, that's good.
So we know he can be like he sat behind Bryce Love for 2 years. He knows how it feels. Now he's coming in as a senior.
Yeah. Oh.
So he's going to be very, very good.
He
Obviously, Costello we've seen highlights of him. No, he hasn't been great, but he hasn't been like
terrible.
Yeah, he hasn't been awful, over the top bad. So Isaiah Brant Sims, sophomore, Donald Stewart's a junior, Oresis St. Brown is a junior, Scooter Harrington, the tight end, is a senior. So they have experienced weapons around them. Now Isaiah Brant Sims, he's a sophomore, but he's just so fast, like it doesn't matter. So I think Stanford, if they're going to pull this off, first of all, they need Curtis Robinson, Trey Johnston, Obi Ebal, who might have a weird name, but he's a phenomenal corner, 5-star. Thomas Schaffer, Michael Williams, all those guys, the defense of Stanford, if they can step up and play as one, they will take this football game.
Especially against that quarterback.
Yeah, especially against Mason Smith. Okay, so that was, I think we discussed that game. What a great Power 5 versus non-Power 5 matchup. Willie Taggart in his second season. His openers against Boise State. They're standouts. Boise State, in the last 5 years, has compiled the best record of any non-Power 5 team. They're not to joke around with. I don't think they've had under 9 or 8 win season since like 2005. And Boise State is like, they're good.
Are they underrated?
No. I don't think they're underrated, but I just think in the last 2 years they have been because of UCF. They piled 10 and 9 win seasons behind UCF who went undefeated. But Boise State, they have to play in one of the toughest conferences outside of Power 5. BYU, Utah State, Wyoming. That is a tough Mountain West conference.
It is.
And all those 3 teams are in their division. That makes it even worse.
Yeah, it does.
So I think Boise State being able to take that division every year over BYU, Utah State, all those great teams. They're phenomenal. Now, Florida State, they're in, rebuild stage right now. Taggart has not taken this team to the next level.
He has not yet.
But they're still favored by 6 points.
It's not a lot, but they're still favored.
I know. I really don't know what to say.
I feel like when Florida State lost Jameis Winston, they started
down.
Definitely.
And even when they had Jameis Winston in his second year, remember they lost 53-20 in the first ever college football playoff game?
Who was that too?
Oregon. When Mariota was there.
And then Mariota played Ohio State.
Yeah, and Ohio State won, and then Ohio State won the championship game.
Yeah.
But they have Cam Akers, who I think's great. Keith Gavins, James Blackman is the quarterback. Francois is gone.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And Blackman had a pretty good season. I think that was 2 years ago. Before Taggart. It was Jimbo's last season at Florida State. He had a pretty good season. Blackman did. He's a dual threat.
Yeah.
He's like a Lamar Jackson in the NFL. He loves the rush. He's like Justin Fields. Loves the rush. Doesn't really take passes seriously. So I think with a dual threat, there's a 2-headed monster. It doesn't have to be the running back. It's going to be quarterback running back with James Blackman and Cam Akers, both seniors. And then Keith Gavins, good receiver. Alex Marshall, the freshman tight end. They started him in the spring game, and they're going to start him in this game against Boise.
I like it. I like that move.
I do too. So anyway, Florida State favored by 6.
Okay.
Should they even be favored in this game after the season they had last year?
How many wins they got last year?
5-7. 5-7.
That's terrible.
That is
for that program.
Florida State, they're an epic football program.
They are. Wow, that's
2 national championships in 91 and 98 or 97.
97.
Yeah. 91, 97.
6.5 or 6? What is
6.
Ooh.
I think Boise State honestly should be favored. I just think Power 5 outside of Power 5 is always disrespected. Florida State did not have a good season. Boise State powered up 9 wins. They should be favored in this game.
Florida State, they are home, right?
Florida State is at home at Doak Campbell, so that can affect some things. But I'm just saying Boise State.
So
they should be favored in this game. I'm not saying they should win. I'm just saying they should be favored.
Yeah.
We will give that away at Saturday selections. But anyway, Houston versus Oklahoma.
I'm watching this game for sure.
Yeah, this is a surprise.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's favored by 25 with a quarterback that hasn't even started for the program yet.
Hasn't even played one game for them yet. I mean,
besides spring game. If you want to count the spring game. No, it doesn't. A regular season football game. And no joke, remember, in episode 1 of our college game day, week 1, we picked Houston. I did, and Ben did, as one of our sleepers. I don't know if all you guys agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, they lost that all over.
They lost Tom Herman 2 years ago to Texas.
Yeah, they did.
But you can see how good they were when they had Herman and how much talent they have left.
Yes.
Because Herman led Texas to a 10-3 season.
Led them to a win in the
Sugar Bowl.
Sugar Bowl, yep.
Led them to the Big 12 championship for the first time in a while. I mean, that's huge for Texas. So I think they'll continue. They're not, obviously Herman's not their coach. But they got Dana Holgorsen, the West Virginia air raid offense guy. He had Will Greer under his study.
Yeah.
So Houston is going to develop into a good football program for the next however many years Holgorsen's there.
Yeah.
Now, I think the spread, calm down with the spread, please. I think it's in Oklahoma. I know it's in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I know that Oklahoma's a great team, great football program.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't seen Jalen Hurts yet.
So why? He hasn't played one game with you. I mean, come on.
We know he's great. We've seen him play at Alabama, but that's not the same offense that Oklahoma relies on. Oklahoma is all throw and probably about 70% of their offense is just going to be throwing the ball.
30% probably
running. With Kennedy Brooks, Ryan Anderson. Oh, sorry, not Ryan Anderson. He's gone. Kennedy Brooks, Anderson. Houston has such a great football team, but sure, Oklahoma should be favored. There's no doubt that they should be favored. They're the number 4 team in the country.
Yeah.
And they're playing an unranked Power 5 opponent.
In Houston. So.
Unranked non-Power 5 opponent. Sorry. So, should they be favored by this much? I think it should be a little less than 20.
I think it should be a little less. Jalen Hurts, it's his first game. You don't know. He could throw the interceptions. You never know. And Houston could end up winning.
Yeah.
You just never know with that defense.
Exactly.
But I think it should be 14, 13.
I think it should be 14 to 17 points. Not huge numbers, 25 we're seeing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so our questions, these are the questions we're going to ask. Well, not the last one. The last one I revised because there was only 2 games last week.
Yep.
And that was, what was the best game last week, is the question we're usually going to ask at the end of our 3 questions. But today, it's who had the worst loss last week. But today, we're going to start with, what was the most surprising game last week, Will? Was it Hawaii beating Arizona? Or was it Miami sticking with Florida for 3 3/4 and about 13 minutes?
So is this surprising?
Yes, what's the most surprising game?
It's hard.
Me and you, we watched the Miami-Florida game together.
Yep.
Yeah, that was you were on ESPN. But that was a phenomenal game.
I'm gonna go Miami.
Miami?
I'm sorry. Hawaii.
You did this in the last episode. But anyway, go on.
Yeah, I was surprised.
I'll get Hawaii's roster.
Yeah. Me, Chase, and Ben. Do we have Arizona winning?
Yeah, we all.
We
knew it was going to be close.
Yeah. Was it 45-38?
45-38?
Ben called it. High scoring game.
Yeah.
And Drew McDonald.
Cole McDonald?
Yeah.
He had 3 touchdowns. He threw for over 300 yards. He ripped apart the Arizona defense.
He did. I did not expect that.
He had 5 touchdown passes. And Cedric Byrd caught 4 of them.
Is that a record?
Yeah. He had 15 receptions, 212 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He was ridiculous in that game.
That's
Cedric Byrd.
No one's talking about him.
Right there. Cedric Byrd.
Wow.
Senior blew our minds in that game.
Yeah.
And obviously we knew the Arizona cornerbacks aren't ridiculously good, but we knew that it's Hawaii. They're not even touching the United States of America.
They're not touching the USA.
So when Arizona went down, they're easy dub. They're getting ready.
Wow.
They're getting ready, easy win. McDonald, I don't think so. Yep. Dayton Foonda had a rushing touchdown and over 100 yards. And Hawaii piled, I think it was around 450 to 500 total yards.
That's a lot.
Yeah, Miami doing the same thing you are. Hawaii was ridiculous.
They were.
Arizona couldn't stop him.
I mean,
Obviously, Khalil Tate was the leading rusher for Arizona
Tate.
because that's literally all he does is rush. He had 108 yards to QB.
That's good.
Yeah, he
You
had
had
like
any touchdowns?
I think he had 2
One,
rushing
two.
touchdowns. He also had like 250 yards passing.
Okay, that's good. I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
it's not bad. It wasn't a bad performance by Arizona.
But
Just got
Hawaii had the better one.
Yeah.
Okay,
the
so
offense was better.
I think the most surprising game last week was Hawaii Arizona. Will, are you gonna stick with Miami, or are you gonna? Are you gonna? You gonna say Hawaii, or are you gonna go with Miami?
I'm sticking with Hawaii.
Okay, I thought it was Hawaii. Now, Will, this may seem like an easy question, but it's not. Because if Miami could possibly do this, because they stuck with 4 the whole game. So, Will, who should make the jump from an unranked spot to the top 25? I'm going to surprise all of you, and I'm going to go with Miami. Even with the loss.
Agreed.
Even with the loss. First of all, AP poll. Here our plea. Give them some credit.
They did phenomenal. That defense was.
But I think they turned out the turnover chain 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I think it was 4.
Jaron Williams. Oh my God.
Jaron Williams.
Jaron Williams. Oh, holy crap. He was great.
I know he's a freshman.
He performed like a senior
He did.
against a Florida defense. He was ridiculous.
I mean, that's a Florida defense. Honestly.
I just couldn't believe it. So I honestly, that was a phenomenal game. And I think Miami goes to number 25, even with the loss. This has happened before.
It has.
Like, say, I believe it was like 10 years ago, in 2009 or 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Texas, unranked team. Mac Brown, it was his last season.
Yep.
They played Oklahoma, who was 10th. Third game of the season. Texas was 2-0. They lost. They weren't in the rankings. They lost, and they got to 24. So, and
Close game.
there's been many. It was definitely a close game.
Yeah.
I think it was like 30-35. So there have been many situations in college football where a team has lost and the AP poll has still put them in the top 25. Now, I think Hawaii definitely deserves it.
Yeah, I can see it maybe.
But it's Hawaii.
Yeah. I mean,
Again, they don't touch the U.S.
so-
America, if you didn't know that, you're all stupid if you didn't know that. Hawaii touched it. But anyway, Hawaii is a dominant football program in their conference.
They're good. What conference are they in?
I don't know.
The
They're not in the Mountain West because that's just dumb. They're not in the West. They're in the West, but they're not in the mountains. But anyway, Hawaii is a phenomenal football program. Hawaii Football Conference. Right, so anyway. Alright, well anyway. Great football program. Phenomenal roster, stacked. Experience is a key thing for the Rainbow Warriors.
and in college football in general.
Yeah, exactly.
So key to a good team.
I think, honestly, but I do think Miami will make the jump because they're a Power 5 program. Playing a very good conference. Alright, so, let's see. Last question. Who had the worst loss? Arizona or Miami? For me, this is easy. If we're having Miami jump to the top 25, it's going to be Arizona.
It's going to be Arizona. I mean,
that was awful. That was an awful. It was a good performance.
They didn't play terrible.
No.
They put up 38, but giving up 45. Oof, that's
not good.
I mean, I know.
Giving up 45 to Hawaii. Like, we know their offense is great, but that's in their conference. That's not against a Power 5 opponent from the Pac-12.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I know the quarterback's good, but I mean...
Yeah, Khalil Tate had 108 yards.
Do you have
no touchdowns on the ground. And then he was 361 yards and 3 touchdowns in the air.
That's good.
Yeah. But then you look at Cole McDonald's. I mean, he was 29 for 41. 378. 4 touchdowns.
God.
But if you actually watch the game, you know that it was close. Khalil Tate had 2 interceptions. McDonald threw 4.
Oh.
So, and they actually started another quarterback. That's why he was so confident. Kane Cordell was 5 for 7, 58 yards, and he had a touchdown too.
Okay.
So this was their stat. They were 34 for 48, 436 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions.
So almost 500 yards in total.
Yeah.
That's.
But when you look
really
at the
good.
stats, you'd think Arizona would have dominated. Because Hawaii, McDonald, everyone's like, oh my gosh, Hawaii was amazing. McDonald had 4 touchdowns, 378 yards. He was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what they didn't look at was that he had 4 interceptions.
Oof. I mean, yeah.
So
I mean.
I think Arizona, that was a tough loss for them, and they forced a ton of turnover. I think they forced
4, 5?
No, they forced 6. They had 2 fumbles, and so the Arizona defense still allowed. But that's where I find it disappointing. Their defense, even with 6 turnovers, they still allowed 45 points. So Arizona, that was definitely the worst loss out of the 2 games. I mean, there's only 2 games, but out of 2 games last week. And my favorite segment, Superdogs. Will, start with you. Who's your Superdog? Looking at the table, can't really see Auburn, Oregon. They're on the chair right here.
All right. It's hard.
Oh yeah, wait. Before we do Superdogs, we always do this before Superdogs. Our game day game. Oregon, Auburn, playing in Dallas. Let's break down that one.
All right.
We always do it before Superdogs. Always skip it over in the Saturday Slate and then go do it before Superdogs. Will? Great matchup. That's the Auburn defensive line is second in the country behind Clemson's.
Yeah.
But the Oregon offense has Justin Herbert. I'm done. We're done. Justin Herbert. He's
probably the best quarterback.
Ben Hicks, our analyst who's on the last show, thinks he's going to win the Heisman and Oregon's going to win the national championship. I'm like, that's a bit too far, but Herbert could win the Heisman.
I can see Heisman. I don't know about
national championship.
I don't know about Oregon. This is a great game.
Yeah.
11 versus 16.
Our first ranked matchup we're actually going to see in college football.
Yeah.
It's the first ranked versus ranked matchup that we will see in college football.
It is.
Just think about that for a second. Let that sink in.
Sink that in.
That's.
I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a phenomenal football game.
Herbert.
The
Auburn defense.
That's the matchup everyone wants to see is Herbert versus the Auburn defensive line.
Yeah.
Derek Brown, Big Cat Bryant. Auburn is stacked.
Yeah.
Big Cat Bryant. That's literally his name, and if you've seen him, you know why.
Yeah.
He's like 6'4", 6'3", 235 pounds. He's listed at linebacker, but that's not.
Why is he a linebacker?
Anyway, they got Trent Walker, Derek Brown, KJ Britt, Big Cat Bryant, Gary Walker, Nick Coe. By the way, those guys are all juniors, seniors.
I mean, that's like I said, experience is key.
That's 7 players on their defense that are returning.
Yeah, that's.
Hey, look at Oregon. You're like, whoa. Let's just rewind that for a second.
Yeah.
Oregon is a phenomenal football team with great offense.
Yeah.
But defense wins championships.
But Bo Nix.
Okay. And then you look at the other matchup.
And you look at
Bo Nix, the freshman,
quarterback,
versus the Oregon defense, and you're like, this could not go so well for Auburn.
It could.
These guys, they got Brady Breeze, the quarterback, brother of what's his name, Brandon Breeze, who went to Clemson, the number 5 defensive recruit. He was his brother. He's a cornerback. They also have Sean Kilpatrick, brother of Dre Kilpatrick of the Cincinnati Bengals. Don't count out these guys. Jesus. Phenomenal defense.
Yeah.
Like, C.J. Verdell is a phenomenal running back for Oregon.
Yeah.
And then there's obviously Herbert. They got Kyle Buckner, Derwan Johnson, Brendan Schooler, Ryan Day. Not the Ohio State coach. The Oregon tight end.
Yeah.
So I think what's really interesting, I think the best matchup isn't the Oregon offense versus Auburn.
No, I think it's
Bo Nix
versus
the Oregon defense.
I mean,
it's the most interesting. It's not the best, but it's the most interesting matchup we're gonna see.
Yeah.
Oregon's favored by 3.
Oh,
it's gonna be a phenomenal game. So let's get to Superdogs now. After that phenomenal discussion.
Yes.
Superdogs, Will. Start with you. Who's your Superdog?
I want to go with Houston, but I'm going to go with, this may surprise you.
Uh-huh.
I'm going with Northwestern.
Oh. Okay, why is that? You think the sophomore quarterback's going to step up?
I do. I mean, like I said, I love the wide receivers in tight end.
Okay.
I think they have an explosive offense. I mean,
John Moten the fourth is great.
the last 2 years they've been phenomenal.
Okay.
Was it 2 years ago when they played Ohio State in the Big Ten?
Yeah, no, last year. That was last year.
I mean, they put up a fight. I know they lost by a decent amount, but they put up a fight, and I think they're a really good team.
2.5 quarters they did, so.
I think they're a really good team.
Okay.
Going up against the Stanford team that lost Bryce Love.
Is it? Don't say if they win outright, but you think Northwestern's going to cover the spread of 6.5? We'll finish Superdogs. You got to say they're going to cover the spread or the outright win.
Cover the spread.
They're going to cover the spread. Okay. Mine's going to even surprise you. It's not even on our 5 games of the week. It's tomorrow night. Oklahoma State and Oregon State. Gonna be a great game. But Oklahoma State's favored by 13.5. Oregon State covers. They will not win. Oregon State will cover the spread.
I like that.
You're supposed to pick games that are on the board. I mean, obviously you can, but I like to pick games that aren't on the board. So, you guys know that Oklahoma Oregon State playing at 9 p.m. Streaming live on the ESPN app on Friday at 9. Okay? Will, Saturday selections. All right. Saturday selections. Before we start, let's get our need-to-know basis brought to you by Google, our premier partner for where we post. So, Premier Basics brought to you by Google. South Carolina has won 3 straight versus North Carolina.
Yep.
Keep that in mind. Northwestern and Stanford have played 5 times, with Stanford winning 3, Northwestern winning 2, but Northwestern won the last game in 2016 by a score of 16-6.
So, very low score.
Boise State and Florida State. This is interesting. Boise State and Florida State have never played.
Okay.
And Oklahoma's beaten Houston twice in the 3 times they've played. But Houston won the last one in 2016 by a score of 33-23. Okay. And for the game day one, Auburn, Oregon, they've only played once. The 2010 national championship game. Boy, was that a game.
Yeah.
Auburn won on a last-second field goal, 22-19. That was when Cam was there. Great game. Everyone played their hearts out in that one. So that was a phenomenal game. And it's a rematch. It's the only other time they played is going to be this one. Saturday Slate. The graphics. Let's start. Selection. Saturday selections. Start with South Carolina at North Carolina. Will?
All right. I'm going to go with South Carolina.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think North Carolina has enough. I mean, I feel like South Carolina offense is going to overtake their defense.
You know, North Carolina, they're an incredible team. They do not play in a good conference of the SEC, and they do not have a triple threat with seniors, Jake Bentley, quarterback for South Carolina senior, A.J. Turner, running back senior, and Brian Edwards, receiver senior. No way North Carolina can hold that. South Carolina wins by 2 touchdowns. Next game. Northwestern at Stanford in the barn. Will?
I know a Superdog was Northwestern.
Mm-hmm. But you just said cover. You didn't say outright.
I know. True. You know, I'm going with Northwestern.
Okay.
I believe in that. I shouldn't say the quarterback, but those receivers. I mean, I love them.
Okay.
I just think they're so talented.
Okay. First time we disagreed on Saturday selection.
Okay.
Stanford. KJ Costello. I think Cam Scarlett, though, will be the difference. He will run. I know Northwestern has experienced linebackers in Patty Fisher and Blake Gallagher, both seniors, led the Big Ten in tackles. Yeah, the Big Ten, not the team. But Stanford at the end, Costello will throw for over 300 yards. Scarlett will rush for over 150. He's going to be the new Bryce Love. Okay. And the statement is going to come from him right there, Northwestern. Stanford, I think Stanford pulls it out at home. Next game, Boise State at Florida State.
It's probably the most interesting.
Yeah. Never played. We can't really rely on history here.
I mean, it's hard. I want to go Florida State, but
it's hard to say.
I'm still going to go Florida State.
Okay.
They're home. I mean, they've been bad the last few years, so I think they're going to tell us something. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. But it's gonna be so close. They're just gonna pull.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's gonna come down to the last minute, but I think Boise State's offense wins the game. I think the Broncos take it in Tallahassee. Houston at Oklahoma. Well, no brainer, man.
But
again, haven't seen Jalen Hurts play.
He does bad. Tough for Oklahoma, or not Houston. They could pull through. Never know. Yeah, I'm gonna go with well.
Yeah, same. I think Jalen Hurts will statement his starting quarterback role as a Oklahoma Sooner. He'll be about average, but I think average in Oklahoma standards is Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, so I think he'll pull that one out. Oklahoma wins by 20. Oklahoma wins by 3 touchdowns. Still covering Washington. Still covering the spread. Game day, game of the week. It's a good one, too. What am I doing? Oregon, Auburn, in the house that Jerry Jones built in Dallas. BTT Stadium, the Cowboys play. And this time it's going to be college. Prime time, 7:30 on ABC. Kurt Street, Chris Fowler calling the game. Will be there as well. But Will takes it.
Hard. Really hard. I'm going to go with Oregon.
Oregon? Okay.
Justin Herbert, he's too good. Okay. Now, I know the Auburn D-line is second or third?
Second.
Oh, football. Yeah, second, but I mean, Justin Herbert's just too good. Bo Nix,
I couldn't disagree with you more. The Auburn Tigers are a talented football team. I think Nix will perform good.
Okay.
Good enough. Not like really good, but good enough. He'll perform like Wallace, like Jaron Wallace. I think the D-line will pressure Herbert ridiculously well and stuff C.J. Verdell.
Okay.
And without his top 2 targets from last year, Dylan Mitchell and Buckner Johnson, I think Auburn Tigers, they will take down the number 11 team in the country, and they cement their role as a great defensive football team. Will, before you go, appreciate you being here. What will be the best game this week?
For me.
Well, okay.
It's Oregon.
Auburn. Okay, we put this at our game day game because it's ranked v ranked. I don't think so. I'm going unranked versus unranked. Not that one, but that one. Florida State and Boise State. That would be an incredible game to witness in Doak Campbell, but Jerry, don't miss that one.
Yeah.
Will, thanks for being here, my friend. Really appreciate it. You guys are incredible. Be sure to like, sub, ring the bell for more Reds, and be sure to watch all the games this weekend if you can. Peace.